Arise and shine. It's a lovely and beautiful Saturday morning. Thank you for joining us again on Lumen Morning Diary. My name is Alice Lungu alongside Eugene and General. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Alice, and good morning to you, our dear viewers.
Good morning, Eugene. You look all nice, suited up. What's the secret? Milk Civic Center.
Thank you so much, General, for your compliments. I think I'm trying my best now, and I think I'm planning to go to Civic Center very soon. In the next 15 years, if God wills.
I love that.
Good
morning, General. Yes, we are still in the morning mood, remembering our former president, the 60th president of Zambia, Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, and that is what we are looking at today, remembering Edgar Chagwa Lungu. You also share with us, how do you remember our late president, the 60th president, Edgar Chagwa Lungu, who passed on in South Africa, Pretoria, on the 5th of June. Just share what really touched you about his life. That's what we are looking at today on the Breakfast Show. Yes, guys, we are still mourning our late president. How is the mood out there?
Well, to be honest, the situation is a bit tense, you know. Zambians are not happy about what happened. You know, no one is happy when we lose someone.
Exactly.
So people are actually in the morning mood, you get. People are worked out because of his passing and the likes, and now the tension of not knowing when his remains are going to come in the country for his burial. I think we're just in a tense situation at the moment as a country.
I think all we wait is to hear the announcement from those in leadership to tell us to say, okay, now the body is coming on this day and the burial will be on this day. Because I'm sure last week the president announced a 7-day national mourning. And all of us were waiting to say, I think by the end of this national mourning, I think we'll be burying our late 60th Republican president. So I think we anxiously wait to be told when the burial will be and when the body will be arriving in the country.
I feel it's something that they're going to extend, because looking at it, according to last week's announcement, we were supposed to have the burial today. So meaning the mourning period is actually going to be extended.
Okay. So we just pray for peace to continue to prevail in our nation, because we are known to be one Zambia, one nation.
Exactly.
So we pray there should be an understanding between the two parties. That's what we pray for, because we are called a Christian nation. You know, in a Christian nation, love is the one that reigns. So we pray for that. I know we have so much to talk about in remembrance of our late president, Edgar Chagwa Lungu. We can also dive into in the newspaper pick. Eugene, help us with that.
Okay, so we'll go with the Zambia Daily Mail. Yeah, this one is saying burial will be in Zambia. So President Hakainde Hichilema says the late former president Edgar Lungu will be buried decently in Zambia and not in other country. So that is the news that is making headlines in Zambia Daily Mail. Then we have government won't bulldoze over Lungu funeral, says the Vice President Mutale Nalumango. Then we also have another story, the front page, which is saying the speaker demands a statement on a poor network. This one should be taken very seriously.
Yes.
Release Lungu's body, says Mpezeni. So this one, Paramount Chief Mpezeni has urged the family of former President Edgar Lungu to release his body to the state for a dignified burial, citing Embassy Park in Lusaka as the designated burial site for former presidents. Yeah, we also have another story where a 37-year-old nabbed for sodomy on a boy aged 3. Wow. Yes. Then another story in sports news: Buffaloes show coach exit door. A Tembo-led Zambia Army-sponsored side to 7th position last week. The Super League side Green Buffaloes have parted ways with coach Masao Tembo on a mutual consent following a season where the Zambia Army-sponsored side struggled authority. I think those are some of the stories that are making headlines in Daily Mail today. Yes.
Okay, so we can actually see what's also trending, what stories have actually made headlines on social media.
Yeah, I think in the past. Before we go there, Alice, I would like us to talk on the issue of the network system, where the speaker demands a statement on a poor network system. And maybe just to read this story a little bit further. The Speaker of the National Assembly, Nelly Muti, has directed Minister of Technology and Science, Felix Mtati, to deliver a ministerial statement next Wednesday on the poor Airtel network and the measures being taken to resolve the problem. I think we have been facing this problem.
Yeah, actually, the poor network issue is actually something that is trending. It falls both on the newspaper pics and what's trending
on social media.
If it's okay, we've been experiencing bad network of late. This week has been hectic. You'll find that your phone is on, but people will be saying they were trying to call you, your phone is off.
Yeah.
You probably not get anything from the call that you had. Your internet data, nothing is working. And this is very costly.
It is.
Because people do businesses using phones. People work through phones. So in as much as they'll say, no, we're sorry, they will apologize, we'll compensate you. Compensate us with what? A tukwacha. I might have lost a deal.
110 MBs.
I
for
might
24 hours.
Yes.
I might have lost a deal worth 50,000. And then you compensate me with a tukwacha. Honestly, what's really the problem?
I think something serious should be done about it. Like you said, Jenna, really, yes. Well, some of us had actually missed an important meeting because I was online that day. I couldn't just get through. I was having an online meeting and I had missed a lot because I never had the chance to really access the internet. It was really bad. So serious measures need to be put into consideration when it comes to network. It's affecting a lot of things.
Yeah, because when was that? On Thursday, when our president was addressing the nation, the press briefing that he had, most of the people in their homes, they don't have power. You know, that's the issue. This is also an issue that is not going to end. So others were trying to watch through their phones. But because of the poor network services, they don't even know what he said exactly. As a result, they keep reading what people are saying. And
we don't even know. It's true.
So I think these people, especially the network providers, should take this thing very serious now, because they must be aware that they are the hinge of communication now, as it stands right now. Because even a TV station today, it cannot run without internet.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if we are having these challenges, I think it's because they don't have competition. But we also ask those people in the business room to say you should come on board and come up with, I think maybe more networks, better networks. Of course, you cannot come and create a network that is going to be worse than the one you have right now. I think come up with something better. All those networks that are existing right now, I think do something about the network issues. Because like in my area where I come from, at my place, I stay near network towers. But for me to access internet is something that is very difficult. I have to move a bit, start walking around looking for network as if I'm in the village. A typical village where, and now I can't say typical village because now all the villages have those towers. So I think let them do something about it.
Oh yes, yes. Another story that is making headlines on social media. I don't know if you heard of this story of a man who tried to rape the mother.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, so then
I didn't come across that story.
yes, a man tried to rape the mother, has been found guilty. A 22-year-old man of Zingalume compound in Lusaka has been found guilty of attempting to have carnal knowledge of his 42-year-old biological mother.
It is very sad, you know.
That is very sad indeed. Right?
And this is what we always preach.
No, it's good that the police were equal to the task, and we pray that the law should do its course on that one. Yeah.
But what kind of demon is that? Diaboloshi?
I know sometimes it's not about demons. Sometimes it's about these drugs us young people are taking in our communities where we come from. I think I mentioned it on this same show last time to say let's know what we are taking and the effects that it has, you know, in our bodies. So such things, they lead to problems like these ones, where someone sees someone else in his own mother, which is very sad. And you know, between the two parents, yeah, we respect both parents, both our fathers and our mother, but there's that respect that we give
to a mother.
To a mother, yes. Yeah, there are some things that I can talk to my mother, but there are certain things that I know that no, here I cannot talk because this is my mother. Exactly. So I think it's very sad. It's very sad. Our dear young people out there know what you are taking, and also let's not lose the values of being African. Because as Africans, we respect our mothers very much. Exactly. So it's very sad that someone could go to that extent of trying to have knowledge with your own mother. It's very sad.
Very sad. Taking our viewers back to the newspaper pic, the diggers, we apologize for delay, HH. We are negotiating with Lungu's family on burial rights without forcing matters. So as we are remembering Lungu, trying to figure out when the burial will take place, the government and the Lungu family are having negotiations. I hope they come to one go. By the end of the day, like Addis had mentioned, we are one people. And he was our former president. In as much as they might have political issues, we'll have to do away with that. And I pray they allow us Zambians to mourn him in a way that we're supposed to mourn him.
I think just to add on that one, I think as we wait, I think there must be an understanding between the two parties, the government and the family. Both of them should understand that Edgar Lungu was president of this country, and he stayed for 7 years as president of this country. So I remember, I think I have one of the newspapers, the old newspaper, I wish I had come with it, where when President Mwanawasa became a president of the country, you know, he told the family to say, I am not only the head of the family now, I'm not only a family member, but I'm now heading a larger community. So I don't only belong to the family, but I also belong to
the nation.
Yes. So we should understand this and put away all the differences that were happening in the past. I think that was just politics. Yeah. And if we are to see things properly, we'll be able to see that our current president and the former president, at certain times, they were in good terms. They had sat together and had some, I don't know if it was lunch or what together, and they had talks.
You know, speaking about that, I came across a video online, I think 2 days ago, to say the things that social media has never showed us. When those people would actually meet.
Shake hands.
Social media wouldn't really show us that, because people are always on the negative sides than the good parts.
And also to add on, let us not, especially us members of the public, I think let us avoid spreading false information.
Exactly.
Yeah, especially when you don't know something, keep quiet, because you don't know.
You want to share it simply because you hate
it. So just like you are saying, Eugene, I was asked to say, lero yandekako bwanji news y'abalungu. Nina bwana yankacheva zone. Not let me be honest enough with you. I don't know. The reason why I don't know, I have stopped following it like something that I need to follow anyhow because
what's latest?
There are so many views out there and people are misleading. So I would rather wait. I hear either from the Lungu family or from the government. No chida muntu oya posta mwayu fila to wiraranda ati so.
And you know, some people are taking even comments of just people who are maybe far away from the truth, and then you even want to take that as a truth.
You even spread it in
Mkomboni, even on our social media platforms, Facebook, now post no nalanda. And those of you who have been gifted of those who have the gift of writing, they know how to even construct words.
And let's be careful with what we comment on social
media.
Because nalanda kaleati. After the burial, they'll still visit you people.
Indeed.
Yeah, people are just too careless. Yes, in as much as you're trying to defend a certain political party or you're trying to defend the other party, let's be mindful of what we say.
Indeed.
Another trending story, in as much as this one is a sad trending story, I'm sure you all came across of it. The plane crash, the Air India plane crash.
Oh, yes.
That crashed just after, is it 5 minutes
5
of
minutes
takeoff?
Yes.
Which left 241 passengers dead, and we had one survivor. There were 242 passengers on board.
And I just went, wow. You know, I was trying to imagine how the survivor is feeling. Like, what words can you actually say? And I also came across of a lady that was supposed to actually board the same plane, but she missed it only, is it 10 minutes or 5?
Yeah, is it 10 or 20 minutes late?
Yes. I don't know, like, when
she tried to plead, say, please, can I go through? The rules of planes.
It's a miracle. It's a miracle.
Like when it is not your time, it's not a time. God will actually find a way of you not being there.
Yeah, so this is why they tell us at times when things are delayed.
Osa patikiza,
osa ziblema. You don't know God is trying to save you away from that. This is the same. It's like you want to go in a relationship that will lead you into marriage, then it fails. God knows that it can't work as a marriage couple, so it has to end just here. But you always blame yourself. Interview God knew you can't work in that environment.
No, we thank God that that man survived. And I think the only thing that he should be doing right now it is to thank God. I know God has got a reason why he saved him.
Exactly.
So I think he has got more work to do.
Yeah, and it's really sad looking at that family that was relocating from India going to London because they were going there for greener pastures.
Yeah.
They've always wished to go to London as a family.
And it's sad that they all perished. Reading...
that crash installed so much fear to others that had flights that were coming after that.
Indeed.
Because there's a post that I came across of a lady that was also traveling with her entire family on board. And now just
looking at that
situation, she was like, God, what will I do? I have a flight in the next 23 hours.
You can imagine. I can imagine the fear. Another story, I think you also read this in the newspaper. A 37-year-old man has been arrested in Monze, Southern Province for allegedly sexual assaulting a 3-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Good.
Women, manja. You see, I think we are living into. I think I mentioned this again in the. I think in the previous show that we had. We should know the people we are leaving our children with, especially those people who are very busy, who spend most of their times at work. Amanyamuka kunchito kuchoka kunyumba 6 hours, abaya kunyumba 18 hours. Basi abana na mamedi. Let us be sure of these people who are taking care of the children, because they are just children. And what do? They learn from everything that they see an elderly person is doing. They learn from that. They take it as a normal way of living. I was just telling one of my friends who is taking care of one of the babies. I was like, my behavior once yet is ambaona kumwana huyu ndiwe, because ndiyo pezeka na eve mwana anaseka seka, but that is just the truth.
Yeah, and this is why we even tell people mwana ukausing vulgar language by the end. Don't be shocked the following dakaburokoza yes. Because to them they won't even know that that's a bad word. They'll just take it, since this one used it, let me also use it. This is why we're always telling people to say, be cautious with what you use, what you say, and what you do in the presence of children.
I think in the past we were more careful leaving a girl child. We were so conscious, I would say, leaving a girl child with a man. But Apamanje, hearing this story of a man sexually assaulting a boy, seems like we also have to be cautious leaving a boy child, any child. Like, you are no longer safe. Children are no longer safe. We are no longer safe, because we also keep hearing of women being assaulted. It's like we're living in a world of fear. You need to be cautious wherever you are. Where am I leaving my child? Who am I leaving my child with? Even fathers do assault their own children. Like, we are not safe.
We're no longer safe.
What?
And it's very scary. I always say we keep praying over this spirit. We keep praying over this spirit.
So all those men with those habits, please take note that the police have their eyes open.
Exactly.
They have got their eyes open. And we do not want to lose you, very hardworking men. Just do the right thing. If you are really anxious of having those relations, find a girlfriend.
Married to a vice president. No, not a vice president.
Madam Kasodi.
Said, Funani Vasaiz Yan.
And there are a lot of women. Go to social media, go to our communities. There are a lot of women who are looking for men today.
But
they will tell you as long as I'll provide everything. You see? So go for those women, those of your age. Please leave the children alone.
Exactly.
Especially those who want to pursue a lot of things in their lives. Some of them want to be priests in the future. Some of them want to be reverend sisters in the future.
It's actually
so if you start doing that to them, you are torturing their minds.
Exactly.
Don't be surprised when you hear they are attempting of committing suicide. It means you are the cause. So leave the children alone. Yes.
So, Chagwa District Health Director arrested for corruption involving over 422,000 kwacha. The Anti-Corruption Commission has arrested and charged Mwene Tambalam Seluka, a District Health Director at Chagwa District Health Office, for corruption involving over 422,000 kwacha. Mwene 47 of house number 07 Chainama Hills Hospital has been arrested and charged with 10 counts of failure to declare conflicts of interest contrary to Section 19, 3B and 19.9 as read with Section 107.
Yeah, we don't know what these people are looking for.
Yes, you are right. We don't know. It's
because you are working. You're
getting something.
Yes.
But
And then you
it
still
seems like drama sizim apart.
It's like when in my offices you feel so superior.
Oh yeah.
And my officers they feel so superior because if you look at the most corrupt areas, Nyamene are my officers. And these are the most corrupt people.
I think, especially the health department, or let me say the Ministry of Health, is one of the most sensitive ministries in the country.
Yeah.
Because it accommodates a lot of people, especially that we have got the free health services in our country. There are poor people who go there. So the government tries by all means to put things in place, so that at least everyone has got at least a share of what the government is providing. You, misusing your authority, you decide to steal from the poor.
And that's what happens. 25 pin.
You see?
I know we actually have a lot of stories that have actually made headline this past few weeks. We can actually share. But even you, our dear viewers, you can share what story has really touched you that is making headlines. You can actually call us or text us or visit our Facebook page, which is Lumen TV. Share your story. We are also remembering our late President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. For now, we go on a short break. We'll be right back. Don't change the channel.
If the late president was given an opportunity by God to wake up today and to listen to what is being said, and is given that opportunity by God to say something, you just tell everybody to shut up. How can you even rest in peace? You can't. When we call ourselves Christians, we're a Christian nation, we whatever. This is the time to demonstrate that we mean what we believe in. Let what has happened be a point of reconciliation. Maybe that one didn't do their job well, that one should have done this, but then they did the other thing. We have to acknowledge that. But then we are in this situation. How do we move forward? Jesus says, be reconciled, because your prayers do not mean anything at all if you are not reconciled. Do not bring to the altar any offering if you are still sitting at a broken relationship. Do not come to church even if you cannot reconcile with that person. I think this message comes to all of us, politicians, non-politicians, the church, everyone. This is the time for us to reconcile with each other and say, okay, things have not been done properly in the past, but how can we correct things? How can we move forward? How can we do things better? How we are going to handle our relationships today will have a bearing on what is coming in future. And so when we still have the opportunity to do things correctly today, let us do them correctly. And the most important thing today, as Jesus is telling us in today's gospel especially, is reconciliation. Amen.
Welcome back. We're still remembering the life of our late former president, Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, who passed on the 5th of June this month. But right about now, we've been joined by Father Arthur, who's going to lead us into our spiritual activation, the food for the soul. Good morning, Father.
Good morning, General. Alice, good morning.
Good morning, Father.
And good morning to our dear viewers.
Yes, Father, welcome.
Thank you.
The food for the soul.
Right.
We need to grow spiritually.
So today I thought we could together reflect on the issue of reconciliation. especially a reconciliation while we are all still alive.
Exactly.
Because nobody knows tomorrow. Nobody knows what is going to happen to anybody tomorrow. Whether you are criminally sick, you are as healthy as anything, you literally don't know what is going to happen. What does means that while we are all still alive, while we are all still breathing, I think it is important that we tie loose ends. We correct anything that needs to be corrected. Because there is no opportunity for reconciliation when we are no longer alive, or when one of us is no longer alive. And I'm talking about this at all levels. We can start from the family, because we see this in our families, that people tend to reconcile or begin to show signs of reconciliation when something bad has happened, when somebody is no more. You see what happens at funerals. Yeah. Send them corner somewhere to go and talk out issues and all that. But while they still had the opportunity to do that, they never explored that opportunity. They had to wait until somebody has left for them to begin to reconcile or to show signs of reconciliation. Quite right, those that have remained behind could reconcile, but what about the person that has died? Maybe they needed to reconcile more with the person that has died than with the people that have been left behind. When we talk about reconciliation, we are also talking about reconciling with yourself. Coming to terms with the fact that you are not a superhuman being. You are a human being that is prone to making mistakes. There are some people that never forgive themselves when they make a mistake. That's why you see people running into or getting into depression, because they fail to come to terms with the fact that they also have a possibility of making a mistake. So when you make a mistake and you acknowledge that you have made a mistake, at that point, reconciliation has to kick in. How do you reconcile with yourself? It is first of all to accept that has happened. Whatever has happened has happened. But then from what has happened, what lessons do I pick? How do I get out of this without getting into depression? So acknowledge the fact that you have made a mistake and begin to reconcile yourself by not running into depression. Getting out of yourself and out of the family setup, we can also talk about reconciliation between people, among ourselves, with peers, with friends, colleagues, with anybody that we may have crossed paths with, and then maybe something bad happened between us. It is important also to make a step of reconciliation towards people like that, outside of our own circles. It could be at places of work. Even in the political circles, it's important that we try and mend those broken pieces, because it is not going to be of any point, or it is going to be pointless to begin to talk about reconciliation when that is not possible anymore. I want to tie this to what is currently obtaining.
Exactly.
Yeah. It is important to talk about reconciliation, yes. It is important to preach reconciliation, but then why can't we do reconcile when we still have the opportunity to do that? Why do we have to wait until somebody has died for us to begin to preach reconciliation? And I'm saying this maybe speaking to my fellow preachers, speaking even to the people that are involved. Say, let us constantly talk about reconciliation. It should not just be a one-off thing, or something that is triggered by a death, or something triggered by something bad, a calamity that has taken place. It should be part of our vocabulary, because the fact that we are still human beings who are still alive and who are relating with each other, it is possible that we can step on each other's toes, and this happens quite often. But many times we pay a blind eye to something like that, and then we just get back to it when maybe one person has died. Say, oh, maybe 5 years ago there was this that happened. Could we try and revisit that and talk about it? But then it has been 5 years, it has been 10 years, it has been 1 year. Why can't we talk about things as they happen? Why can't we talk about the issue of reconciliation as people differ, so that as things are going wrong, we are also mending whatever is going wrong? At the time that one of the or somebody dies, the issue of reconciliation will not really be difficult to talk about, because it is something that had already started happening before. People talk about flowers, when somebody dies, give me flowers when I'm still alive, don't put flowers on me
when I'm dead.
Let's give each other flowers and all that. And I think there is value in statements like that. There is, because I think it makes much more sense. And I want to believe that when they talk about flowers, they are not just talking about literally flowers. Yeah, but I think we also talk about like the nice things that we say about somebody when they have died. Why can't we say those
when they're alive?
When they're still alive? Yes. So this person was a humble person, but you never said it. This person was an intelligent person, but you never said it, because your focus was on magnifying their dark side. Yeah. Why can't we normalize giving each other flowers when we are still alive? When somebody scores a success, they've passed an exam, for example, maybe the business is doing fine. Why can't we give them the accolades while they are still able to receive them and enjoy them? We have to wait until I have died for you to tell me you were a good person, you were a good priest. I think at that point it is already too late.
And that's why we say most of those things are fake, because everyone will be saying you were a good person. Why won't they mention you were a bad person when they actually had the bad side of you?
You see, actually, culturally, we don't really want to talk about the bad things that somebody did before they died. We avoid talking about those things.
Yeah, but
even when we know
this person was like this and this.
But what point are we making? The point we're making is, if you have to say something nice about somebody, tell them before, if I am a serial killer and you think I still have something positive, as you correct my dark side, why can't you also magnify the good side of my life? So we give each other those flowers while we are still alive.
Okay.
That is also an aspect of reconciliation. So our message this morning to all of us, to all our viewers, is that we have to normalize talking about reconciliation before something bad happens. We have to normalize giving each other what we call flowers before something bad happens. And in fact, that is how we build good relationships. That is how we build a united nation, a united family community. Reconciliation, fortunately or unfortunately, cannot be avoided. It has to be at the center of everything that we do as a community, as a people. So when you see what is happening around, especially with the death of ECL, as we fondly called him, when you hear what people are saying and all that, there's a lot of bitterness. There's a lot of bitterness.
It's tense.
Not the kind of bitterness that has been brewed now, but something that was brewing before. Yeah. So his death has just come like to break everything loose. Yeah. So we saw that there could have been pockets of enmity between maybe the ruling party and the opposition party and all that, we saw that there were those pockets that could erupt into something, but maybe we didn't do much to help the situation. We had to wait until somebody like this has died for us to say, no, these two camps should sit down and talk and all. But I think the moment we begin to notice that there's something wrong here, these are not just opposing parties, they are also getting to be enemies. Those that have the authority, those that have the moral authority, the spiritual authority, the church and the veteran, citizens of the country should sit the camps down and say, you are not doing politics anymore. This is just enmity which you are brewing. This is what is happening.
So this is what one thing. That's why you had mentioned to say reconciliation is key. When we reconcile with people while they are still alive, I'm sure if these camps would have reconciled before this, we wouldn't have this tension. But it's because the other camp feels the other one didn't do right things when the one who has died was alive. So they feel anyways each carry but by the end of the day, he was a leader of this nation. It's not only the Lungu family that is affected, even us, the Zambian citizens, are affected by his death. So how I hope and wish we had reconciled with them before he had died. And Father, you mentioned that Pachililo, Lionsolo Kuba, Gamma family, Tabario Mfana, no, I have noticed that, Father. You'll find two people that were not getting along. When you probably lose a family member, that's when they'll start speaking. Fake promises. Maybe 3-4 months after the death of that person, it goes back again.
I think also just to come in further, one thing that really kills us or maybe puts us in a position of failing to reconcile is pride. We always wait for the other person to come and say sorry, to come and reconcile with you. I think we should change this mindset of waiting for the other part to come and approach us. No matter the situation, be it, okay, if I'm wrong as Alice, or maybe the other person is wrong, let's just approach and just reconcile. Peace is very important.
I think connecting to the 2 points that you have brought out, I would want to highlight the issue of taking responsibility. Because like you have mentioned, pride. People become proud because they don't want to take responsibility. They don't want to humble themselves, to come down and say, okay, here we are wrong. Here I am wrong. It becomes difficult to take responsibility, and so and that is because of the issue of pride. When two people are at loggerheads, both of them or one who is in the wrong should take responsibility to say, maybe there's something that I didn't do well, and I apologize. And that is a very central attitude of reconciliation, taking responsibility. Like we are talking about the death of ECL. If there's something that the government didn't do well, especially when you look at is it his treatment process and all that,
because that's the issue at hand.
Exactly. We cannot sit here and say, no, the government did everything well. The government did everything 100% well. If there is something, if the government maybe did just 40% or 50% or 60% or whatever, certainly there is an element. There is something that maybe they could have missed. It is important that somebody from that camp, from that side, takes responsibility.
Exactly.
Rather than just say, no, we did all we could. No, we didn't do anything wrong. I think that fuels, anger even more in those that are grieving. Because from the other camp, clearly, clearly there is something that should have been done better, but then it wasn't done the way it should have been done. So how do we move forward? How do we, how are we going to bury this person? First of all, let us take responsibility.
Exactly.
Let us settle this issue to say we apologize. Probably we should have done things better. We shouldn't have done that. We apologize. There's no harm in taking responsibility. There's no weakness in saying I was wrong. If you were wrong, you were wrong. Just say it. And all that. The other camp is going to feel, they respect the way we feel about this thing. From there on, then we can talk and see how we are going to handle this issue. But if we all continue to put shields to say, we were correct, I was correct, I didn't do anything wrong. Exactly. You are the ones that were wrong. Then what happens there is you're going to arrive at a stalemate. Yeah. You can't make progress. So if there's something that was not done properly by this camp, they should take responsibility. The other camp, if there's a way that they're taking this issue which is not proper, they too should take responsibility. Exactly. That is the only way that the two camps can reconcile and then map a way forward in this particular matter.
And when we talk about both camps reconciling, it's not only about, because as far as I'm looking at things, maybe it's just my imagination, I feel the enmity will keep growing because different camps are speaking differently. So it's better this reconciliation works in for everyone, even the people that are still alive.
Exactly.
We don't want to have the same mess when something else goes wrong again.
And I think that is the point we're making. That it's not just about ECL. We are broadening it. That we don't wait until something has happened in the family and then we, as things are going wrong, we take responsibility and we correct them. And that is how we reconcile.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Father, for sharing with us the important message of reconciliation. Yes.
Okay. See you next week.
I'm always happy when you're here. At least we learn a lot, and I'm sure our viewers have also learned a lot. Reconcile with your family member that you're having grudges with your friends. Life is too fragile. We don't know when we're going to go. Just look at what happened recently. People boarded the plane going to London.
Oh yeah, that tragedy.
5 minutes later, they die. So let's try to find peace and reconcile among ourselves. For now, we take a short break. We'll be right back.
Mwelesa tulelo mbafwe bana benu Kamonga wa Defense and Security Choir Central Province Kamu Bali bakateka n'abanesu abo abatusha ndeti myo shabo shitushe muchibote.
Psalms Major Music.
Mashallah,
bakateka walilufya nengomba shalia shapo walilufya bakateka walilufya nengomba shalia
Welcome back. You are still watching Lumen Morning Diary. Yes, we had Father Arthur educating us, feeding us about reconciliation. Hopo Andela Eugene.
Yeah, I think I've learned a lot from what Father has said. Reconciliation. So
very important.
As long as Musa that number and immediately after this program, let's meet outside with reconcile.
Ati not using okamba chabe ati forgive our sins, Father. We need to also forgive those who trespass against us, right? We need to put we need to let go of the things that hate us. Yes, we always say this, me and Alice here to say forgetting might be hard, but forgiving is easy.
You know, forgetting is impossible. You always remember it. But in as much as you remember it, let it go. you just learn one or two things from it. Yeah, you just let go and forgive. It gives you peace of mind, unlike dwelling on the past.
Yeah, and at least it doesn't, once you reconcile, it doesn't leave the people that are alive in difficult situations because they don't know how to go about it. You know, like they say, it forever and anymore we get the grudge. Yeah, the power of we've seen it in our families where by the end of the day, even the kids won't connect.
Yes.
I think we should also talk about this issue that happens usually in the families where families only have meetings when someone has died.
Yeah, that's all.
It's common, not in any other family.
It's almost
everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Where we only meet Pamaniro.
That's when now you go a meeting, you meet, you talk about issues. I think
fake promises. What after 3 months, 4 months?
You see,
they disappear.
I think let's have time to be meeting and talk about issues in the family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're still remembering our former president Edgar Chagwa Lungu, and just to hear what others had to say, we went out there and found out and heard the viewers of the people. Let's see what they had to say.
Inechonalala ndapo mweba na bakwaresa ile bahadamu na baheva babifishe mwibala lya edeni lesa ali tutipire ala ndile ati mwakala fwa kairi mwakala bwelera na kwiroba mkwende fo kulando kutira ibyo tulelosha intungulushi Yesu abafuire abo abakuti niba Chagwa Edgar Lungu tuloshenga abana bakwaresa because chinwe chalo cha Zambia tulanda ati Zambia is the Christian nation, so tuloshe ngaba ishibalesa tuilosha ngabe na fyalo abashayishwa Yehova tuloshe muri bubwino mwe bana bakwaresa bonse fye tumeka pipa mo bakobati imfa yabatata tuishike mumuchinshi mumutende nefyalo fimbi fimwene kokwa bati twalikwata unity mukatika Zambia tufumye pokuso
kwena ndefo afendande kwa mashuya nono pafyo ifire chitika mukatika chalo cheso mkaibonse na tuishibokwe bati na turufye mpalume our 6th Republican President Edgar Chagwa Lungu ero batila ubushikubufuire nsofu neli ashirya nsofu kwena umuntu fye uli onse na chimwika techi pantu ichililota chabe chayanguka kanshi echo ndelombako sana chako batifo bonse tuloshe bwino mukulosha bwino ku chile pilibulo kwe bati ngakwali baba apatana abate mwana iliwe chintu chachitika iseni tuloseshe chapa mu pantu ufuire temwa icheyo fila balanda chakapopo akapopoko tushika munkama lelo chintu chakulange finga bakateka wesu tulingiri okubashika bwino kaidi tubyaba kwikatana twapapa talekeni mumpashi waba Edgar Chagwa Lungu utushe mchibote ifi akudonsa
oliranzanga banja la a former president Dr. Edgar Lungu bantu bonse wamuno mu Zambia ine nifuna kupempa kuti ngati nikoteka tonse tiyangane pachi ntu chachikulu chimene tifunika kuchichita pa nthawi ino amene tilida maliro awa abale ndi alongo tisaike pasogolo mkangano tisaike pasogolo kusiyana kwa maganizo koma mwina tiyangane pamene ngati a nation tingakhale affected ngati titenga nthawi kuchita decide kuti maliro awa tizayendesa motere tisaiwale kuti kulira kulina makosti tisaiwale kuti kulira pazafunika kuchita spend ndalama zosiyana tisaiwale kuti pamene tilira pamafunika zina zosiyana zamene zilira ndalama so ngati mwina sitika konzero kuti tilire mwamtendere ndithudi ine niona monga at the end of the day tizapezeka kuti the cost yochita host funeral ya msogolero watu izankhala ikulu kwa ise tonse
Kukukulo mutende Nabana baleisa bakasekelemo for the better future.
Well, we saw the president visiting the lodge just to sign the book of condolences, and we had the viewers what they had to share about our late president, President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, a former president.
I think it was good to see, the head of state signing that book. Though there were a lot of questions, especially when I saw no president is wind up. At least it was good that those issues were cleared. He went there and he signed in the book, and I think he said a lot in a short video at Natamba. I think there was a lot that
when he emphasized about us sticking together.
That's so good of the head of state, especially encouragement tikazigurizana ziyambana, very important. So when you have got a problem, you want everyone who comes to say something that you want, something that says something that you do not want.
Just like our mother said a few days ago, our former Vice President, Madam Inongewina, she stated to say, people are grieving. Don't respond to what they are saying. When someone is grieving, they can say anything they want. But the other camps and other people, you're not creating any peace. You're actually dividing. When I'm frustrated, I'll vent out my anger. I'll say anything. But you, who knows the situation I'm passing through,
should understand at that particular time.
Yeah, I should understand to say, oh, you need to I'm sticky, that's why I didn't finish. And then we had a question to say, who's allowed to go and sign in the book of condolences? But if everybody have a quarter machine, those that have made their names, or even a passerby can go and sign in the book of condolences.
I think that's a question for everyone. Even me, I was asking myself that question because I remember escorting someone who is, a dignitary also. I mean, I escorted him to go and sign. So I was asking myself a question to say, should I also?
Isn't it open? For anyone?
For anyone?
To go and sign?
It is open. Because I'm sure some of our crew members probably had a few and left some signatures in the book of condolences.
Yeah, we've also seen in other countries where they are going to embassies, Zambia embassy, to go and sign. I have a friend who is in Dubai, and he had that privilege to go and sign in the book of condolences. That side, I think it's open to everyone. That's my thinking. To everyone, even Alice can stand up today and go and sign a message of condolences.
Not every day.
I was here.
Alice was here.
And social
you
media.
Want to make a name? Maybe it's restricted, and maybe if, I don't know. Maybe for the sake of mtendere, not confusion. kuti alionze
But nemaona mwa confusion in maningi pa social media listen.
timazi chita exaggerate
Pa social
temantu
media, yes. Because there's this musician that went to sign just because he sings for the current government. Ma comments yenzepo. That's so walemba mu vichani. Walemba mu chabati I was here.
And also it's important that what we do, certain things that we do, we don't do it for our own popularity.
Exactly.
Yeah, especially signing in the book of content. I noticed the day I went there was that everyone who is signing in that book wants a picture, to post out there so that
I was there. Believe me, nanguine nikaenda nzafuna munikope.
why?
It's true.
No, I think that's where we take it wrong. We are not supposed to be taking it as something that is fun, something that I'm going to use to gain popularity of it. You are signing in the book of condolences. You leave a message of condolences there. Yeah, and it is, I think it's like giving something to someone who is poor. You get it? When the upasa goja ufuna ati wonse wone mwaona ine nista bwino ine mwaona uyu wosa ukawiyonzerebe yenze na manga kudala mwaona so nampasa konsa pato hii so mzaona na manga azasira such things. I think we need to avoid, and let's know the reason why we are even signing into that book. Yeah, it's very, very important.
I think mwemwa kambira kuti ise bantu ndisetina problem tipanga vintu tishita exaggerate as though things are not really okay, we are making up stories. Kuti I don't know the tension that we're trying to draw, which is, I would say it's not good at all. We are trying to we've dwelled so much on the negativity. We don't want to dwell on the positive side. Like we're so interested in the negative.
Reconciliation. So it becomes very hard to reconcile because by the end of the day, like you had mentioned, Eugene, to say we might not be in the same, we might not agree to everything that you do. So as a result, I'll become your enemy for not agreeing. But in a democratic country, everyone has got their own opinions. So
let's wait. Let's give the chance to the government to talk to the family, because the family had time to talk to the former president. Maybe the former president told the family secretly to say, no, I want this to happen when I die.
All right, we have been reading that. We just don't know how sure and how truthful it is, because so others might use it for political gain.
So it is something that we, the Zambian people, ours is to mourn and to stay calm and wait for these people who are in charge, those who are entitled to talk. We don't talk anyhow. We don't talk anyhow. Let's give an opportunity to these people who are in charge to have negotiations. I know they are going to negotiate, because no matter how long they are going to take, one day they will come to an agreement and they say, okay, this is what we have agreed, and our former president and wherever is going to be buried, he's our president.
Yes.
But for us, what we know is entitled to be buried. And as we have seen already, they have updated that. Works are nearly completion. Yes. So
yes, we are still remembering the life of our former president, Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, who passed on the 5th of June 2025 in Pretoria, South Africa, at the age of 65. Edgar was the 60th president of Zambia, who was who served for 7 years, and we still remember him, the works that he did for our mother Zambia.
And one thing that I remember him for, his dance. Because he dances like my dad. So whenever my dad would dance, so I would be like, Lungu. So whenever I've been going through these clips, I'm like, yeah.
Yes. Some of the clips that we keep seeing, we've just seen them now.
Yeah.
That he's passed on.
Yeah.
Like
We are hiding.
I just don't even know why we don't want to have peace when he was so peaceful.
Yeah, himself was so peaceful
and
that
cheerful.
yes, and he always wanted us to have some time, having fun with young people. I remember when he visited my parish, where I come from. There, when he came, he said, "At least allow me to have some time with the young people." And then he said, "Okay, play some music, we dance." That kind
he loved to dance. Yes,
that kind of.
His morning jogging.
Yes, I could see him. Was it the running competition?
Oh yeah.
Where he came out first. All those things.
Yes, he loved.
We would mingle with the old people, and that clip that really touched me the most. Where he had visited the odd, and he was asking at Muneranda na Manani, and
Yeah, he asked that gentleman to, but do you know the president of this country? Yes. What is his name?
Yeah, he was so cheerful.
Yes,
So we have lost a president, someone who saved. Yeah, he ruled us, And in every ruling kula wako wakwata kwama ups, wakwata kwama downs there and there, but he did his best. And we saw it when he handed over power, which is something that is very difficult. We have been seeing this especially in these other countries, where when a president loses, it's very difficult for them to hand over power to the next president. He was there, very, very strong, and handed over power to the current president, which I saw for myself. I think that was some sort of, immediate
yeah, his legacy lives on. Will always live on. Yes, and we also pray that may his soul continue to rest in eternal peace, and we also pray for the family that may God continue to also comfort them in this trying moment. It's a very, very difficult moment, losing a parent, especially to the children. It's a very, very trying moment. We just pray for God's comfort. It's only God who can actually see them through at this particular time. Even when we say condolences messages and what, it doesn't make sense at all. It's only God who can actually comfort. It's been a journey of Lumen Morning Diary. We looked at what's trending on social media. We looked at the newspaper pics, and of course we had a Father Arthur who shared with us the food for the soul, and we looked at reconciliation. Very, very important, I must say. I believe Eugene and Jenna, you've actually learned something out of it.
Exactly. And now I'll give our viewers a quick review in the sports. Banda on target again in NWSL. Chilufya Kundananji feature in Zambia Kuchalo match. Hachingwa is new FAS referees manager. FAS appoint Hachingwa as referees manager. Florian Wirtz transfer to Liverpool is now agreed. And Eugene, take us into the COSAFA.
Yeah, COSAFA, Zambia has been, eliminated. It's very sad. I think Mr. P mentioned it when he was here to say this time around, we lost the COSAFA previously in the same manner, where we were beaten by Comoros, and then we failed to beat Botswana. I think it was very sad. It was very sad. The soccer fans are now devastated. They don't even know what to expect. It's very sad. I think this tells us that the new FASI president, even those the referees, managers, they've got a lot to do.
Exactly.
A lot to do. For us as the fans, in fact, Africa Cup to send up, COSAFA to send up, but now we want to go and pick the World Cup. So if you as the first president, you are not thinking that direction, please, sir, begin considering. We are really
aiming high.
We are really hungry.
Exactly.
We are hungry to go and
because football, I've always said this, football unites people.
Yes, yes.
if there's a sport that unites people, it's football. You would be there talking to people that you don't even know, you literally don't know, and you even have good conversations with them.
Indeed.
So please, something has to be done, because even the friendlies that our ladies played, I don't know, we couldn't win any single match.
Yeah, people are saying it in Tankana less.
Yeah, I
So I
don't
don't know where this
happening.
laziness is. Look at what is happening. You are just from reading. Look at what is happening. I'll give you an example. Liverpool, you know, we are preparing for the next season, you see.
Exactly.
So already the coaches, the technical bench, they have already started, you know, making preparations. Which player can come, you know. Already you have talked about a new player who has just coming. So that shows. But here in our own country, we are not seeing that happening. You see, we want to see that development. You know, we want to see that effort being shown to the people to say, okay, Apamanje, at least is a difference. With a good performance in a very small tournament like
no enough man didn't touch money na tatu toishane with touch money trainer a day before.
It's
a day before Alice.
No, so sports for me is something that I'm always learning from you guys.
Okay, then you have other scenarios. You can't train a day before. Or the time you used to go to school when studying. Yes, we used to have those manners of studying a day before a test, but
we are always advised to study.
There's no way you have
prepare yourself.
Exactly, you have a huge tournament. 2 days. Oh, players are coming in camp. Players are coming in camp.
Yeah, I think we need to work on that. We need to work on
our
that.
friends, like you've mentioned, Eugene, they prepare adequately. They even see what they eat. No mam no Zambia kula diafya uli amtea bora wadie chibwadi uchero wala kutukasha.
I think the new first president now the referees manager wanyowani make sure that things are in place. The referees are paid on time.
Exactly.
My issues are no.
My coach can get my request.
My coaches also, they have to be paid. Maybe
something that they need to.
Actually, empty makofa. Kufazi nionse makofa ya mankala empty. Manje kanda mazienda kuti.
So anyway, we wait to hear from you people. At least have some time to address us, especially on the loss of Kosafa. People are not happy. Tell us what happened. It is not me. Now I am speaking as a soccer fan. I am now speaking as a soccer fan.
Thank you so much for sharing the sports segment. I know you too, when it comes to sports, we can actually go on and go on. Thank you. You make us get in the mood to love sports. Well, we've come to the end of the breakfast show. Thank you for watching and for always following Lumen TV. Don't forget that Lumen TV is actually on Top Star Channel 101. We're also on Facebook, Lumen TV. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Lumen TV. From us, it's bye-bye.
Chafina,
lotulo yaya mukula lotulo we muchiri mushawabashani ala wabinawe na pashipatarara iwe wabinawe na pashipatarara Noma baby to binchi wasala tusi aseo tulila adada mulale muchibote bengi maya ichichena chakalifa wakulekela we mwine ututule wefu bengi watusha ichichena chafinisha wakulekela we mwine ututule wefu tutule wefu tutule wefu wakulekela we mwine ichichena chafina tutule wefu na chakulisha tutule wefu tutule wakulekela we mwine tutule wefu umumwakwenda na umfwila kasemo abati umopalifwe anakila kumushini umwejilinga wenkondo palume ya jabo aponye mfuti yawe aya wenda mutende wenda wayimikina tukesa umana ichichena chakalika wakulekela we mwine ututule wefu wengi watusha ichichena chafinisha wakulekela we mwine